And welcome to Healthcare Sucks. And we're going to be bringing you some more on definitely that thing, the WUHAN 19 did come out of a lab, which makes it a bio weapon. Like we said all along, more and more proof is stacking up. Now we've got mainstream TV channels and others coming on and basically calling it out, calling a duck a duck. So we'll check that out. Then we've got another channel with a gentleman from overseas that was telling us how they have souped up cremation, uh, you know, devices. Basically, let's call them supercharged. So instead of taking an hour, 15, 20 minutes to burn the remains of a human being, it takes very few minutes. Let's just put it like that. So here we go.
Only by
Joining me right now is Senator Tom Cotton himself. He sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. He has been speaking out about China's response to this fatal virus. Senator, it is good to have you today. Thanks very much for being here. It is the only one of its kind in this area, in Wuhan, in the province, that area. And
but China continues to block our ability to ask those questions and get that evidence.
But in terms of getting to the bottom of it, the Centers for Disease Control wanted to go into China. The U.S. has offered a lot of help, including sending the CDC in there to investigate exactly where this originated and how severe it is. But they said no, right?
That's right. The Chinese government has consistently blocked American scientists, who are obviously the very best in the world, from going to Wuhan, going to Hubei, trying to provide assistance to make sure that this virus is contained to the greatest extent possible, to discover its origins, to shed light on what that may mean for successful testing and vaccines. But the Chinese Communist Party continues to refuse that offer of assistance from the United States.
Now, the Chinese ambassador called the notion of biological warfare, quote, absolutely crazy, accusing you of trying to spread misinformation and panic. What's your response there? I mean, we don't want to create panic, but at the same time, people need to be educated in terms of what exists in this region in China.
Well, the burden of proof right now is on the Chinese Communist Party and the ambassador of China and his fellow communists. They have lied consistently about this virus from the beginning, so we should not take their word at face value. And no, we don't want to have a public panic, but we do want to err on the side of caution when so much is unknown, and that is consistently what China has not done. By consistently lying to its own people and to the world, they have created a situation where we have not been able to take the preventative measures that we might have, and we have not been able to err on the side of caution.
Tell me what the downplaying of this has done. In other words, the Chinese knew about the coronavirus back in November of 2019. They proceeded to send a delegation to the White House to shake everybody's hand, to do a phase 1 China deal. They sent the largest ever delegation to Davos at the end of January. Do you think the downplaying of this virus has actually exacerbated it?
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Maria. You know, the first cases indicated in early December, which meant they were transmitted sometime in November. China finally fessed up to the WHO on December 31st. If they had taken action weeks earlier, not only might their own people have been better protected, but the entire world might have been better protected. This is just a pattern of Chinese dishonesty from the very beginning, which continues to this very day.
And if you've been keeping up with the videos, we called it that they've been lying since November. Because this thing originally was stolen last summer. Put the clock, tick, tick together last summer. Bam, they worked on it. 12 monkeyed it. Got out, however. Bam. November, didn't say nothing, couldn't control it once it got out of the lab there. Bam. Finally in December, here we are in February, and it's up to our necks, and we're getting deeper.
2 days ago, we went from a situation where they were reporting only a couple hundred more cases or maybe 1,000 more cases a day to almost 14,000 cases in a single day. That wasn't the result of any scientific discovery. That was a political decision to finally reveal what they knew to be true, yet they are still covering up, in all likelihood, the number of cases and deaths from coronavirus inside of China.
And do you think there's anything that we should be doing here in America to hopefully avoid what sounds like is a pandemic coming?
Well, again, I want to commend the president for shutting down travel from China. That was the most important preventative step we could have taken. It's very important that we empower our local and state health officials to test at the broadest possible criteria for anyone who's been to China or been in contact with someone who's China who's showing any indication of the symptoms of coronavirus. It's so critical that we do that and that the CDC develop effective and quick testing protocols as well, so we don't have a situation where people are infected with the coronavirus but are told that they are not infected, as unfortunately happened just a few days ago in San Diego.
Senator, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Senator Tom.
And moving on.
WUHAN fish market. While they say more research needs to be done to find solid proof, such labs are known to contain disease-ridden animals, including hundreds of bats. Our Kim Hyo-sun with the details.
Amid the continued spread of the COVID-19 virus, there's rising speculation the virus could have originated from a government laboratory in Wuhan, rather than the widely held belief that it emerged from the city's Huanan seafood markets. Citing a report published by Chinese scientists, a Chinese-language newspaper published in Hong Kong, Mingpao, and the British daily The Mirror, explained Sunday that the Wuhan Center for Disease Control, or WHCDC, could have spawned the contagion in Hubei province. According to the report penned by Bo Tao Xiao and Lei Xiao of the South China University of Technology, the research lab, which is only 280 meters away from the Huanan seafood market, kept disease-ridden animals, including more than 600 bats. It stated that while it's plausible the virus was leaked from the lab and contaminated initial patients in this epidemic, more solid evidence is required through future study. The report also raised the possibility that the Wuhan Institute of Virology could have leaked the virus while it was carrying out tests involving Chinese horseshoe bats. Against such a backdrop, an article published by the Washington Times late last month is garnering attention as it raised the possibility that the disastrous outbreak could be the accidental result of biological weapons research. This comes as a renowned law professor at Tsinghua University in Beijing, Xu Jianren, is known to be missing after publicly condemning Chinese President Xi Jinping for failing to contain the spread of the virus at an early stage. He even added the condemnation could be the last message of his life. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang.
There you go, another coming out and accusing Wuhan Class 4 bioweapon lab. Got the 12 monkey mix up, got it out, it escaped. Whatever, or they intentionally did it. We will wait to see as we move on. Now here is something interesting I found. We'll see if we can get this to play for you guys.
姐妹们早上好，这是昨天晚上12点钟，把我转到这个地方来。什么叫什么方正方太还是什么部队守卫部队的那个医院，里面又没有厕所，
There's no bathroom, no medicine, not even hot water.
上厕所
The
还要在
bathroom
外
needs
面
to be
200 公
200
里以外，
meters walking
外面
distance
下着
if
大
it's
雨。
even out there.
本来指完进了医院好了，
I was better
这还
before I
倒过来
came
了
here.
全都是这种
They're all
病人，
sick people here.
恨不得还要感染。
I think they're all going to get infected
这
from
是
each
什么
other.
方太部队守卫的那个
Banghai
医院，
Banghai
这么
Hospital.
多人，
There are so many
这怎
patients.
么看呢？
So many
这互
patients.
相
We're
感
going
染
to
还
be
吓人
infecting
些，
each other.
又没
No
药吃，
medicines,
又
no
没针
treatment.
打， 全都是这样子的人，
Everyone here has the
有的
virus.
甚至比我还重一
Some
点，
people are in critical condition right now.
到处都是的，又没隔
They only
离，
set up a partition but did not isolate the infected people.
在红山宾
Everyone
馆里
is
面
suffering.
就这么痛哭，又
No
没隔离，
quarantine.
又没厕所，
No bathroom.
救救我！
Help me, please. What you see is a patient who's getting angry. They want to go home. This is another one of the 28 quarantine hospitals in Hubei.
我们这边打药，你们打药，还有个啊，还有是重症患者我们不收，生活不能自理的我们也不收，走路走不了了，生活不能自理，这不是医院，这只是个隔离点，出了事没有任何人对负责，我们也担不起这个责任，这只是个隔离点啊，跟大家说强调过很多遍，这不是医院。你来了就只能在里面安
He's
心的
basically saying if you can walk and you're well, go home. That this is not a hospital, this is just a quarantine unit. Whatever that means, guys.
所以你这点你是要考虑清楚。啊，要吃完只能委托家属给里面的护士、医生。
超过1000的时候，说领导打电话迅速解决，啊，来了生化部队呀、把整个火葬场的
Bioweapon, they cleaned up the incinerators. They upgraded the incinerators.
而且像现在是把过去的火烧
A gasifying process that exactly what Hitler did.
完全给希特
No longer needs 50 minutes. Now corpses are gone instantly.
减少二氧化硫。
This is to reduce the sulfur oxide, guys. I'm just going to read it. With sulfur dioxide above Wuhan changing. And we know that's happening. All cremation areas are being done. No medicines, no medical experts, no professors. What does the COP have? Guns. Paid propaganda about, they're talking about that sulfur oxide that we've been monitoring. He's saying that all those places are putting it out because they're burning so many bodies back to back. Corpses everywhere. Now in Shanghai, Aluai, an online control order, class 3 prohibits from sharing and discussing patient condition by anyone is prohibited. Sending any information regarding the epidemic overseas is prohibited. Number 3, prohibit any kind from obtaining any information on the pandemic. Class 3, CC has fully determined to run the country, whoever that is. They want to wipe out the second-class population, don't you understand? After you stay home for a week, 2 weeks, you tell me 3 weeks, it's an epidemic gone. Does the CCP? I will be free from food, don't have a paycheck, no housing. It will always exceed the disaster itself, such as war, whatever he's talking about there. Doesn't the CDC understand? The whole country is now, even under Beijing, Taiwan, and China, absolutely has no ability to contain and stop the person-to-person transmission. Secondary and multiple transmissions are affecting and doesn't have the treatment to proceed. To the parents of the children, wake up, wake up. Why are countless children something about that? And there we go. There's part of it. Remember, I've been saying no military pictures sick, and then no emperor or emperor's family. They're all overseas, is what he was saying. They're all in New York and other places over here. They've already flew out. They're already here. Now, the military, that's a different story. I'm waiting to get pictures and information on that. We have somebody actually through WeChat or something like that. They have a phone service over there. Is going to be getting contacted that's doing some investigation if the person survives and gets the pictures out on what the military is really doing, which might be hard to do. So with that, we're going to let you go tonight. I just wanted to bring you what I had, that catch up on all this information. And with that, healthcare sucks. Have a good day, my friends. Stay safe.